I'm not pocket watching. I swear down, I'm not pocket watching. Did he say he started off in Face Me, I Face You? Yo!
Make I love you. Up to the night I be thinking, you get a body where they make me. I suppose she locate, but I go back Belgium. My money.
Alright, my people, Davido album, what were my first thoughts? Okay, that's what we're about to watch. In case you missed the reaction, the full album reaction on Twitch, head over to Patreon. It's available there currently. And you're going to see some clips of some of my favorite songs on that one coming up on the YouTube channel. And obviously, if there's a song that you don't see on the YouTube channel at some point, let me know in the comments right now what cuts you would like to see from the reactions, okay? But if you wanted to get my overall thought on the album, this is the video for that. This is going to be the summary of my overall take of the album. With that being said, enjoy the rest of the video. That flair with this humming. But overall, man, in terms of the album, it get us to be, man, on the first spin. It get us to be on the first spin. Let's be very, very honest. On this particular first reception of it, there were many moments. Of course, you saw Davido trying to hint towards one thing, a few things. Of course, his legacy, and two was accountability. There were so many moments of him hinting towards, oh, where I was wrong, where I did this, where I did that, asking for forgiveness, or at least I don't want to mess up. I don't want to lose what I've built so far. So there's that level of, I guess, like a personal reflection. Even though we know he's an artist that is constantly in the press, it feels like everybody knows when Davido sneezes. You know what I mean? He's that much of a presence. He has that much of a presence when it comes to media, when it comes to headlines, that we know so much about him. We know virtually everything about him. So there's an urge, or at least, even with Timeless too, there's an urge to really want to see a lot of his personal life, a lot of his personal grievances, a lot of his experiences pouring into his music. I've already expected not to. I've already given him that benefit of the doubt that he's a role player. He's sticking to his job, and his job is just to give us that. That familiar Gbedu direction that we've already been accustomed to, that we've been primed to enjoy in parties, in clubs, in weddings. He is in that space. He's the one that scratches that itch constantly for the scene. So I never really expect, or I never go into his project or his album to expect a personal touch, because I just know he's doing what a pop star is doing, just to give us records. And I've grown to accept that, especially Timeless. Timeless made me accept that, forced me to accept that when I was expecting, or at least you want to see some level of personal life experience poured into his music to an overwhelming rate. Even though, yes, he had those moments in Timeless, but there's an urge to want more from him. But I've come to accept that he wouldn't necessarily almost hit that quota for me, which he didn't necessarily hit that in this moment, in this album. But I can give credit to the few moments that he was able to highlight. That we saw that from Anything to Be There Still. Even on Love Records, he would hint towards of his legacy, of how far he has come as an artist, or his drive so far. I feel like there's one thing you can always note about him is his work ethic and his ability to always want to work and push. And that's what you can honestly connect a lot of records to. So I give him that. I'll give him that on the positive end. And of course, there were moments too that were brilliant. 10 Kilo, okay. Standout moment in terms of his overall performance, his overall delivery. A very, very mellow record. It felt romantic. It took me back to 1 million in some sense, in its traditional sense. I really enjoyed that record in a lot of ways, and it was a standout, easy standout for me. Another moment that really, really I had to take note of was Nothing Day, when it came to at least the new songs that we knew. Nothing Day, a celebrable effort, threw me off guard. You expect heavy Gbedu direction. Another yet mellow moment from him that found Davido being really fun and exciting in certain pockets in the record. And I enjoyed the grit. I enjoyed the energy behind his delivery on that one. So Nothing Day was another standout moment. And then we had With You, okay. that really like shut it down when it comes to just overall sheer level of crafting a perfect, or at least a great atmosphere. You know what I mean? A great atmosphere for fun, a great atmosphere to relax, a great atmosphere just to, you know what I mean, to have what exactly we know and we've grown to love about Davido. I think this song captured that. And we saw that with an Omale essence. Shout out to Tempo, of course. Being able to orchestrate that and merge those two words together, and it was good. Now, when it comes to the lackluster moments, when it comes to the efforts that didn't necessarily, not to say they were lackluster or terrible per se, they didn't necessarily like evoke a strong emotion. They were not notable. They were not memorable in some sense, and it's because of the production fatigue. There's an overall production choice that we've seen Davido take constantly. It's the Amapiano fusions. We know that there's a log drum session coming in there on songs like Lately. Even though it was a song that was feeling like he was saying something there, it was a huge pull and distraction when we saw the classic or predictable like log drums there, just to like almost just to dilute the entire substance that he was trying to offer there. So from the atmosphere standpoint, it kind of weighed on you as a fatigue. At that point, we've already gotten songs like Holy Water, we've already gotten songs like Awuke, we've already gotten songs that constantly scratch that itch, and it just felt more redundant than anything. And yeah, it was just that moment. It was just that, like, you can say that for many records. CFMF, another moment like that coming right after Be There Still, that felt like that. Yeah, man. It was, and when it came to the romantic, or at least the R&B features, Victoria Monet as well. No, it was a slow down Afro R&B moment, but not a standout moment, not a strong moment for her to really leave a mark. And it's fairly forgettable melody on that record. And yeah, those were the lackluster moments. I didn't necessarily highlight R&B with Shenseea and 450. It was a slow wine anthem in the dancehall flair, and I love that they called two dancehall artists to really make that record dynamic. I thought they stood out on that record, and it was essentially a good moment for the album spin. Overall, man, I think that's about it when it comes to the songs that I was really infatuated about. Obviously, the songs that we knew before coming into the album, Be There Still, Funds, and what was the last one? Be There Still, Funds, and why am I blanking on the last record? And Awuke, yes. We knew these records, they were obviously still fun to hear them yet again. And I like their placements very, very far apart. Not necessarily like in the placements that you'd be dreadful to skip. But overall, this would be another moments to mark as a good point for the album. I expect the song to obviously, age with us. The first spin is not going to be the best spin. Your first spin is typically one thing we've come to know over time. It's not necessarily your best spin. So overall, man, that's the balance. Production choices, of course, yes, heavy on that Amapiano lean. Even though I was expecting, one thing that kind of let me down a bit was Stacey and Daju. I loved Stacey and Daju. I know they go for Afro R&B efforts, that Francophone dynamic. But that chorus was way too wordy, way too overcalculated. That record could have been simplified a lot more. The Chris Brown moment too just felt very sanitized and so radio friendly and festival friendly. And it had that Western flair to it that you don't necessarily expect a Nigerian ear to really, really, really like catch a moment with it. So it's not necessarily, again, our target audience. Same you could say with the Becky G record too. Super nursery, the production and the writing on that one. So there were moments, man. There were definitely moments that weighed on the project. We didn't get our classic intro from Davido. I think his track record with intros, we got a poem this time, which obviously showed some intentionality around making this a larger than what it typically is, which is a playlist. This one making a difference. I think obviously with the other albums that we've got from Davido, he just goes straight right into it, gbedu, heavy, or big statement intros. We got a big statement-ish intro with Anything, but it's not necessarily the same standard that we've seen from an intro. Overall, man, for my first spin, it's sitting at a calm 7 out of 10 for me. In terms of my first encounter with the album. Forward. How you guys feel about it?